Okay. Well, okay, thank you for that. Clerk Reed had some great questions there. I think we learned quite a bit where you all stand, what you know, what you don't know, what you got in you, what you don't got in you. Let's get one question from a resident. We probably have time for one more question. Aaron Foster, if you want to unmute and pick two of the candidates to ask a question.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear. All right, well, we discussed a lot of the stuff that I really wanted to talk about. It's awesome. Everybody gets kudos. I'd like to direct this question to Eduardo Gomez. You are currently the deputy clerk, and I would like to hear your answer as to why you're not currently on the ballot and running as a write-in. That would be my question. You got to unmute.
I was on mute. Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, so thank you for the question, Aaron. And so to me, I did see a lot of fruitful candidates coming about when petitioning started out. And, afterwards, I was encouraged by family, by residents, and those who had seen me do the work of the city clerk to give it a chance, an opportunity, because they wanted to see what I stood for. They wanted to see what I saw as the vision for that office. And so that ultimately was the reason why I decided to run as a write-in candidate, because I felt like I owed it to myself and to the residents to at least give it a try and have them learn more about me and who I am as a person and where I stand in many of these issues. And so that, again, is why I ran as a write-in candidate, because of the encouragement I received from many in the community. But thank you for the question.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the answer. My next question, if you guys can still hear me, is going to be directed at candidate Baby. So if you could unmute, start the unmute process. At this point, we've heard a lot about your past career as a member of the federal law enforcement agencies. Our certain situation here in Evanston has been that the authorities, the perceived authorities, have been misusing their office. Generally, a federal agent will go with whatever her or his authorities tell them, and our clerk has been one that has bucked the system. Evanstonians allow and want a clerk who would be willing to protect us through his office. Where do you stand on that fact that we need someone who will not act accordingly based on what the mayor and his cronies might want to happen?
You broke up there a little bit.
That's the question.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, you broke up a little bit, but I think I understand that you're asking how would I stand up for all of Evanston, all Evanston citizens, and not just be a yes woman to the mayor.
That's correct.
Okay, and that's a great question, and it comes down to who I am as a person. I could be very irritating at times to my bosses when I was an ATF agent, because I didn't always take, their word for anything. And I understand that there are some very, very serious issues right now, not just in Evanston, but in our whole country, that have to be addressed. And I know that there are deep concerns frankly, in the Black community, in the brown community. I understand that there's a huge issue of racial injustice. There's big concerns over the police. But I do believe that the best way to try to improve things for everyone is to do our best to work together. And by that, I don't mean all just join hands and sing, nice songs together, but to find out in concrete ways how the mayor's office, for example, can help people who feel that the police have treated them unjustly, or how can the council help people who feel that the police have treated them unjustly. And
15 seconds.
And for that matter, how can the police help? I think we have to communicate with each other. I think we have to try to communicate with each other clearly, and nothing will help more than that. Listen to each other and try to help each other and build some trust. I think that's crucial. And I do think we can do it, by the way. I think Evanston, we can do that.
I think I'd like to.
Well, thank you for your answer.
Thank you for that.
I'm sorry.
I would like to hear the rest of the candidates answer that question.
Awesome.
Who would like to jump on it?
I'm happy to jump on it.
Okay.
Mr. Foster, could you repeat the last part? It was about if I will be a yes man or woman to authority or protect the people. Is that correct?
The core of my question, because it was pushed towards a federal agent, was would she just go along with the authorities because that's what her past was? My question, I guess, to the general population would be, are you going to fall in line with what has been happening, or are you going to help us correct what we need to be corrected, which is the damage that was done to the office
I love this question.
while we were dealing with the corruption?
Yeah, so I want to be clear that a lot of the damage that happened with our FOIA office was because of HR practices that are exclusively applied to African American officials, all of whom are then removed from office for allegedly creating an unhealthy work environment. And that includes Kevin Brown, includes Suzette Robinson. There's a lot of victims. We lost a lot of good people. My point of view in being in the office is that we have a lot of the public who is volunteering to be oversight, and we should be taking advantage of that. And that is the purpose of FOIA. One of the many purposes is to monitor government and making sure it's working in the public interest. So we have a large group of people, who are paying attention to police activities, which is very important. That is a group of people that we have given deadly weapons to. Making it easier for them to monitor, to use their volunteering for that is to, and I can't take credit, the clerk brought this up, complaints that are flagged for use of force and arrests or complaints, redacting information about victims, redacting information about the witnesses, but making sure that we have those demographics. That same with what we were talking about with budget transparency and Robert Crown, making sure there are a lot of people willing to do that oversight for us. We just have to give them the information. If they don't know it exists, make sure that they know it exists. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty. Stephanie?
Sorry, Aaron, could you repeat the question again?
Yes, Stephanie, I would. It is my pleasure to reiterate the question for you, especially because you've been sanctioned by the current administration so strongly, if not on paper, but behind doors. The question would be, will you fall in line with what they want, which seems to be corruption? I can't make the direct call that they are corrupt, but the implication has been that they are corrupt. Will you fall in line, especially because they have endorsed you?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the question.
No one from the city has actually endorsed me, just that works for the city, by the way. So I don't know where you're getting your information from, but that is definitely not true. And I'm actually the only person I've been able to count on, at least to further my knowledge and anything that I know is Clerk Reed. And just so you know and understand that. So, I am very much an advocate, and I want to make sure that everything I do in the office benefits our community members. I want to make sure the office and the city is working for our community. Like I said before, I've
30
been
seconds.
where even myself, and as an Evanston resident, a young mother, when I first moved here, wondered if I could or could not stay in Evanston. I had on my own had to learn how to navigate our city government and learn to work with our city through my extensive work with the nonprofit community. So I will very much always be, a voice for the people.
15 seconds.
Always first getting opinions from our community members before any decisions are made, at least that I have the power to make.
Well, I apologize for my misinformation. And I guess the next person would be Jackson. Thank you. The same question.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question. And the short answer is no, I would not go along with the corrupting influences in city council. And the reason why I feel confident saying that is in a word, co-governance. And I really want to give Misty credit for bringing this up earlier, because what it really does come down to is making a concerted effort to get the community involved and to get people's input and hopes for what the office will entail at the very beginning of the process, even before getting into office. And I think that's something that not only the clerk needs to do, but every single elected official up there would need to do, because we aren't
30 seconds.
accountable to the other people on that dais. Every single person we elect is accountable to you, accountable to the people that put them in office. And I think the only good way to avoid the corrupting influences of City Hall is by understanding that fact and bringing the community in. And that's something that I never hope to lose in my approach to elected office.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron, for those questions. Thank you to the candidates. We are coming to a close